Oh my god, everything is falling apart! Heyo, my Planet Zoo friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo! Planet Death! I can't get the keepers to do their jobs. Everything's going to heck. Oh my god. Alright, so we got an update video for everyone here today. As you can see here, there's a lot of chaos going on. I have 145 animals, 30 FPS, and the game is dying. The keepers can't keep up. I'm trying my best with getting them 4-starred and 5-starred because I had a whole bunch of 1-stars and I figured 5 is going to be better than a bunch of onesies. And it doesn't seem to help the problem. If they're finally cleaning up, get rid of the bodies. Someone's en route. It always says someone's en route, but they never show up. Alright, so in the last episode, you guys would have saw me build the wolves den, which is still thriving and doing well. The guests are loving it. It's making good money. It's looking good. In the episode before that, you guys saw me build the savannah. Now you might see these little boxes everywhere. Those were temporary shelter boxes until I got the single-sided glass, which I have now. So I could probably go ahead and delete these. However, we're going to be making some major rehauls to the entire park. So as you can see here, I have 1.3 million now. I have some conservation credits, but I just spent all my conservation credits on these two guys. All of them. I literally been playing this game all day. Like, what time is it now? I've been probably playing this for like 10 hours. Took me 10 hours to make about 1,000 conservation points, and I spent them all on 2 silver lions. So, yeah. Hopefully they breed. If she can have a little litter, I think they have litters of 1 to 2 is what I think the Pedia said. Yeah, hopefully she's 5 years old. She's fertile. So is he. So I'm hoping she can have at least a few offspring before she dies. Those ones will grow up and we'll have more and they'll start to multiply. And in the meantime, I can work on getting more conservation credits. But I just got so tired of farming conservation credits with the savannah. Like, literally, out of the 140 animals I have, most of them are in here. Like, look at this madness. Again, don't mind these boxes they use to hide, and I will make it pretty eventually. But yeah, there's like 140 animals in here. It's getting crazy. It's all over the place. We have buffalo, warthogs, these, what are these, gemsbok? Springbok, ostriches. We have a lot of zebra. So there's 6 different species roaming around here and a whole lot of them. Everyone seems to be fighting. It's noisy, it's messy, and we need to fix this. We need to spruce it up a bit. The game's been starting to struggle a little bit at this point with this many animals. As you can see right now, it's freezing up. It keeps hitching. I've had several crashes, and the funnest bug of all, hopefully it's not doing it to me again. So you guys know how I was banking all these animals in previous episodes? Well, I had a bug where all my animals started duplicating themselves into the trade center. So the trade center had like 70, 80 animals in it, but those 70, 80 animals were also in here. So when I tried to move it from the trade center to here, it was already here. So it just put it in a box and unboxed it immediately, and it still stayed in the trade center. And I was like, well, what do I do? Because I'm saving up all these conservation points and my trade center is full. How am I going to buy the lions? Because if you have more than 30 in your trade center, see 0 to 30, it won't let you purchase anything. So obviously it wasn't going to let me purchase anything. The fix was I had to select the barrier and freaking box all animals. Then I had to put them all back one by one. And once they were back in the trade center, I put them back in the enclosure, and that seemed to fix the bug. Oh my god, that took me hours to figure out a solution. I thought all this sitting here saving money, saving conservation points. Oh, my lion just sold, so I got some of that money back. I accidentally bought 2 males, and I was like, wait, I need 2 females. So hopefully, let's go to the trade center and see if we can get ourselves another female. So there's a challenge going on right now. Before I go into that, let's show you guys the challenge. It's a community challenge, so help release 75,000 West African lions back into the wild, and once the community has reached a collective 75,000, we're gonna get a present. So I don't know what that present is, and obviously I want to contribute, and this is where my contribution is at. pretty much nothing. But I have lions now, and hopefully the challenge isn't beaten by the time I have the ability to release one. And I feel like I'm not going to get one out on time, but we'll see. So anyways, in order to do this challenge, we're gonna have to get more lions, and we need females to breed. The more females, the better the chance we have. So we're gonna sort this by price. Now here's the thing, see, it has a little person next to it. That means it's an economy. I just sold my lion for 275 or something. You can only auction things for a total of an hour, so people are selling these things. But the problem with this system is, generally speaking, people are only gonna sell the crappy ones. So if you look here, this one is 3 years old, has no fertility. This one's 11 years old, has no fertility. This one's 5 years old, has no fertility. Like, they're all old and they're not fertile. So, I mean, this one's all right. It's 5 years old, 320, great fertility. The longevity gene isn't very good. So for 5 years, how long is she gonna live? But look at all our other options. It just gets more and more expensive. So unless this one here, no. So I think that's the one we got to go for. Well, it's still there. Is it gone already? Did I lose it? I think I lost it. Oh, there it is. 320. Ouch. That's going to hurt. Hopefully she lives long enough to have offspring. So we're going to move her in right away. All right. She's on her way. Just make sure I didn't accidentally click the savanna. All right, now we have double the odds of offspring. That is good. The pen is terrible. A lot of what I'm doing right now is terrible. I mean, we spent these 2 episodes making some artistic looking stuff, but then it's like, well, I'm broke. How do I have no conservation credits. How do I actually get the funding? And especially like the research. I want to build things, but the research wasn't completed. So I'll probably make a separate video on this, a tips and tricks, but check this out. We now have all the animals fully researched. Most of the viruses, I think there's 2 they were bugging out. I couldn't get them to research. And the mechanics are fully researched. So I now have everything in the game unlocked. So that means I can start building, and I have the money to do so. All I needed was the conservation credits to get some animals worth building. So we got the lions to participate. We're kind of set. Now, how I got that research, I'll give you a quick backstory, but basically I put down, 4 or 5 research centers, 4 or 5 workshops, and then I hired a bunch of rank 1 staff, and I guess I got some in there right now researching, and I named them research, so I know to essentially those are my researchers, and their job, so if we go to the staff, we find the researcher, their jobs, oops, I forgot to do it with these ones. Yeah, that's right, because I just got new animals, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my researchers back. But essentially with these researchers, you make it, whoops, not dispose of animal, conduct research. You want your researchers to only do research, and that's it. And they'll sit there. Oh no, I did a researcher rank 2. Oh, they should research faster then. We need to give them raises. My goodness, this takes a while. She could punch in the number. That'd be real. Oh, could have sworn that wasn't a thing just a day ago. 1550. Does anyone else need raises? 2050. All right. So yeah. Basically, dedicated researchers, put them in there, make it so they only do research. Now, the engineers will pop out a lot. It's just bugged out right now. So basically, what I had to do, because the researchers will just pop out to take breaks and they won't go back to researching. So I basically sat here on fast forward, reapplying researchers, switching over to mechanics, reapplying mechanics, and I just sat there waiting because they will pop out and they'll never go back. So in order to play the game properly, research won't finish in a timely manner. It won't finish at all. So if you're just playing the game and going about your merry way, you'll never get your research done. So I was kind of forced to just do the research in one big foul swoop and get it out of the way. I hope it's not like this on release, because I would like to kind of progress as I go and just research things as I go. But this was kind of a necessary evil. So everything is researched now. We have the money. We got some exotic animals finally. We have 150 animals. So I was just doing things temporarily to kind of stay alive, stay in the game, and stay thriving. Yeah, so I got some fun tips, and I'll probably make a separate tips and tricks video about this later. But if we go to my animals list, you can see that a lot of them have either numbers or R's next to their name. So wait, do we already have cubs? Or what? That was fast. That was extremely fast. I just got these like 10 minutes ago and said, okay, I think I'm gonna start my video now. Holy good googly moogly. What rating did we get? We got a gold! First try. So this is what I've been doing. So I'll click on the animal, and then I'll see what it is, and then I'll give it a rating of 1 for gold, 2 for silver, 3 for bronze, and an R for release. So if we click on the animal, the only downside is it doesn't bring it up here. So you kind of have to like zoom in. Well, actually, I do this on pause mode because it makes it much easier. They're not moving around. So yeah, she's not ranked. As you can see, her badge is not ranked. So I go R, and then I click on this one. What did we get for our second? Another gold. How lucky is that? A gold male and a gold female. That is freaking phenomenal. This is we're off to a great start, because once these ones start breeding, we're gonna have nothing but gold stars. Basically, the more gold stars you have, the more chances of getting gold offspring. That's why I decided to buy the silver, and the fact that I got 3 golds right out of the 2 golds right out of the get-go is amazing. So all my animals have these ratings, and as depending on the species, the wolves I generally keep it on lockdown, but with like the springbok, you need so many of them. Like if we click on the springbok here, okay, the population I think can go up to 40 before they start feeling overpopulated. So for my entire run here, over all day long of just getting springbok, they're still not at a healthy population. They're just barely hanging in there. These guys over here, we click on him. See, now we're overpopulated. So when I start getting overpopulated, what I do is I come in here and go, all right, where are my R's at for release? And I don't know why it's not properly sorting species. And if there's no R's, then I'll start releasing the bronzes. And this one here's a 2 rating, and that's all of them. We got to get rid of a few, so let's look here. If we have we only have 1 3. Why didn't this one get a rating? That's the one I'm looking at. I thought I just did that. So we have a 3. We want to get rid of that, and then the rest are all 2s, which is great for breeding. So what I'll start to do here is I'll look at their age. So this one's getting pretty old. This one's getting pretty old, but that's 2 females. We don't really want to get rid of our females. We want to try to get as many. Well, they're the oldest. We'll get rid of these old guys. Got to make sure we leave a few males to breed. And if there's offspring males, you know they're going to grow up and breed anyways, but it's good to keep a few males around. All right, I think we can get rid of one of these. Well, how many do we need to get rid of? A handful. So we'll get rid of the lower rating one. So now we release these to the wild, and yeah, see the bronze one we didn't get anything for. So it's good that we're getting rid of some of these 2s, because you get a hand, but you can see that, like, do you know how long it took for those to grow up and release? Quite a long time, especially even on 3 times speed, but we're only getting 24 conservation credits for that. So you can imagine how long it took me to farm up 1,000, but in the meantime, we also have all these other animals. So the ones that basically really brought me in the most, honestly, is the warthogs. The warthogs, I don't know, I got super lucky or something, but if we go down to my warthogs here, I should have filtered it the other way around. Well, there's a whole new batch that I have to check out, but generally speaking, all my warthogs are 1s, like all of them. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So I've been getting really lucky with the warthogs. Looks like I got to get rid of some more, so that'll give me some more conservation. And the ostriches, they just breed like wildfire. It's crazy. They just spread. So I have a bunch of high rated. Now another tip here is, like, if they're little babies, you have a little baby here that's basically doesn't have a badge, you can set it to contraception, so that they'll make it so that they can't breed. So I make sure that the babies, the not highly ranked ones, are basically non-fertile. By the time they get old, they won't breed. So you won't accidentally have one grow up and breed with a 1 star and make another, a runt litter, I guess. So yeah, you want to just basically make sure all the 1s and 2s and 3s are breeding. And even the 3s, I get to a point, depending on how big the herd is, I would also do the contraceptions to the 3 stars as well, or the bronzies. That's been my system, just getting rid of the R's, the 3s, making sure the 1s and 2s are thriving, and I've just been doing that. I also spent 250 conservation to get my first male buffalo. You guys know I was struggling with that in previous episodes. So I started with 1 buffalo, put all the females in here, and this is where we're at from that. It's taken a long time to get the buffalo up to this much, and especially getting some 1s and 3s and 2s in there is really nice, because we started with nothing but unranked buffalo. The turtles is amazing, because look at this. These turtles are 70 years old. They didn't have offspring until they got to like year 66. That's when they decided to have offspring. These little babies will not turn to adults until they're 25 years old. That's insane. So we have all these baby turtles. Let's go take a look at them. But it's literally taking a freaking, or tortoises. You guys were giving me heck for calling them turtles. I look at them, I see turtles in my head. I just think turtle. Anyways, they're turtles to me, but they are tortoises. But we have so many of these little guys. It's ridiculous. So eventually, they only want to be here in packs of 4 adults. So when these finally grow up, it's going to be like, boop, overcrowded. And we can finally get rid of some tortoises. Now, I'm really curious because I've literally been playing this game for like a century. Now, it's really weird because it says I'm on year 41, but it seems like for every in-game year, the animals age like probably 3 or 4 years. So yeah, it's a little bit weird like that. But yeah, I've been literally in here for almost a century, or by the time these guys get old, it'll be a century. So when that happens, we can sell our first turtle, and it takes a lifetime. And I'm really curious to know how much these are going to sell for, because it's harder to breed. It's the hardest thing in the game to breed so far, I'm finding. If we look at them, they're vulnerable. That's their state. So they're not like endangered or anything like that. They're just vulnerable. So I'm like, is the payoff going to be really worth it? I finally sold my first silver bear, and I got 50 conservation credits. The thing that's so tricky about the bears is you can only have 2 adults at any one given time, and she only has 1 cub at a time. So you generally have like 2 cubs before, like I've only ever had 2 cubs at any given point. And then basically these ones grow old, and I gotta get rid of these 2 because they will all just fight. So by the time these 2 grow up, it's time for these 2 to go. And it's an unfortunate system. However, the guests really like them. They make good money. So they're worth it to have in your park, but don't expect to make any conservation points from these guys. I just put the peafowls in. This is also temporary. Everything I'm doing is temporary, and I'm gonna go back and jazz it up like this. And that was the whole plan. Like, let's just get it down. Let's get the simulation working. Let's manage it, and let's get them to gold stars. So when we actually make it pretty, we're putting gold star animals in. Now, the thing is, the peafowls are so cheap. If you go to the actual trade market, you can get gold star peafowls for like 2 conservation points. So I bought like 16 of them. 16. So I'm waiting for these guys to start breeding. My goal is to find out throughout playing this beta and on release, what's the fastest thing that's going to breed the most often that sells for the highest conservation. Basically, I'm going to look for the most efficient route to making conservation points. And I did it this way with the savannah. All these different animals I've been selling, mainly the ostriches and what are these guys? The antelope? The antelope. The ostriches, the antelopes, and the warthogs. The zebras, buffalo, and Springsbok, they're basically, they need to get their herd bigger. So I've been just sitting here waiting because they want to be in big herds. And it's amazing because there's probably like 130 animals in here, and we still haven't hit our 8,000 cap for our size. It's phenomenal. So this big space is paying off, and it's only getting bigger. Eventually, what we want to do with this area is also get elephants and giraffes in here, because they'll also want to mingle in this savanna style area. So we're going to do that as well, and I'm going to need conservation points. The only reason I wanted to do it so bad, I was like, let's get the elephants! But the freaking tiger challenge. I had to do the or the lion challenge. Yeah, I had to do the lion challenge, participate in the community event. Plus, lions are freaking badass. We already have wolves. We have a lion's den. Come on, right? So it just made sense. I like having the lions, so we'll let them do their thing, and hopefully I can turn a nice conservation profit off the lions. I'm really hoping that they breed, and they breed well, and we've already got 2, so it's working out. And I'll just continue to spend whatever I get on more females. They like to travel in groups of let's check the Zoopedia, up to 30. That's amazing. Well, you're gonna have about 4 males and up to 30 females, so I could just go ham. Eventually, once we do have like 4 males and a whole bunch of females, like they're all just gonna start popping out little kitties. So It's gonna be amazing. And we definitely have to spruce this up for them, pay our respects, make freaking a pride rock or something, you know. So I have a lot of plans, but basically I just wanted to give you an update on everything and give you guys some tips and show you that things are finally going well. And now I do have all these construction pieces unlocked, which is freaking phenomenal. I haven't even looked at them yet, so maybe we can make an episode out of that, because I spent so long dealing with like the whole management today, played all day long, just getting the research done, making the money, getting the guests happy, get everything thriving, that I just don't have any building content going out right now. So now we have it. Now the building content can begin, which is really exciting, because like this is a huge milestone. And I went through a whole bunch of hurdles, like I said, with the crashes, the bugs, my animal trading center being full, just so many things. And then like learning how to organize these animals. And I highly recommend you guys do this with the ratings here and check them out. That way when they get old, you know which ones to get rid of. So I just go in here periodically every half an hour, check for new pups, new offspring, give them a rating, and then check back in to see when they get old. And you know, as soon as you start seeing notifications of like unhappy animals, it has something to do with their social. Their group's too big. Now the nice thing about social, it's a blend between social, space, and stress. So if you do enough work to make sure that they're not stressed out and you've given them enough space, then if they become overpopulated, they'll never really become insanely unhappy with that, because the three of those make up the 100%, if that makes sense. So you could actually let your social group fall right down to 0, and this still will be in like the orange, which is fine. So I'm just having a problem with cleanliness. As you saw from the beginning of the episode, I can't get the keepers to keep this place clean. I mean, I don't blame them, but you would think, and I see it in Discord, I just think it's part of the beta. The AI is not really that efficient, and for whatever reason, I can't really get too many keepers in here at one time. So that's why I decided to start 4 or 5 starring them. That's my goal here, because if they can work more efficiently and quicker, then hopefully they can get this place clean a little bit faster. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, that's going good. So before I end off the episode, I mean, there's a lot of information, not a lot of, I mean, I gotta show you guys some stuff. Like there's a peafowl enclosure, there's the lines, which is phenomenal, but it just doesn't look great. It's really just, I mean, my park is like a beta. I'm beta testing the beta, and everything's turning out looking very bare bones and test like. Especially with all these things lying around, the freaking stress huts. So I do want to show you guys these. These are amazing. So these are just like part of the research that came in. If we go to shelter, we have different designs now. Those are the old ones, and then we have these ones. Look at those pieces, like the glass. That looks real nice. So what I want to do here, I mean, I want to try to build, well, I could either use these, for sure. I would like the biggest thing to do here is to replace the shelters with these ones, but it would be nice to build a couple of my own. I want to start rethinking about how I'm gonna do my own custom builds for some of these things. I custom built the front, I built the area up, I did some, you know, sprucing up. The buildings are the only thing that I didn't really touch, so I want to do something there. So my plan for the park, and I don't know which order I'm gonna do this in, and I'm just gonna continue after this video. I'm gonna continue to farm conservation points, try to get more. I want to get more lions going once I feel comfortable and in a good place with enough conservation credits coming in. Then we could get our elephants and giraffes. But before I do, like, yeah, I want to get those bought and in my trade center. But before we actually place them down, this park needs to be changed. These facilities being back here aren't doing us a whole lot of good. Same with these ones. What we need to do is we need to basically bring this whole area forward, push it all forward, and this whole area becomes a staffing center. Then they can, like, all the staffing, veterinarians, everything, then they can get out, go into the gate, and they're into the savannah like we have here, but just bigger. But then we can also put our wolves den gate here so that they come out of there and then they go right into the wolves den. Then we don't need these ones back here for the wolves den, because the gate will be over here, which is centralized to the staff. Now, they will have to walk across the street from here to here, so we will have to put a gate here. Or what we could do is expand the bear's den. I'll replace the peafowl area just by expanding the bear's den, and we'll have a gate there so they can get out. And that way, basically everything's covered except for the turtles. But if we take this gate and we flip it onto this side, it's not that far off. So I think that would like basically bring everything together around our staff facilities. But if we basically have staff facilities all the way out to here, now we have to like move this, because these people will complain because they're right there by the staff facilities. So we basically have to expand the savanna all the way outward and do something different with the path, the overhead viewing. And then I want to build basically stress huts. And I do notice that a lot of the animals like going under here, because when they're under here, they're not bothered by the people. So that is something to keep in mind. Maybe what I'll do is try to make like the pathway basically going over a building, and then the animals can kind of like pass through this tunnel style building. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But the savanna is going to be smaller, which is going to bring our square feet down. And adding elephants and giraffes, they're going to want more space. So I predict that this will end up being like about this big. It needs to be. But it'll start here. So yeah, we're just going to like double it up, and then that should help. But because this is such a sprawling area, we're going to have to figure out a way so the guests can go right down the middle, and also see around the sides. And then obviously we got to delete the lion's den and just come up with something not so temporary. And the bear enclosure, I'm honestly fine with the way it is, because you can only ever have 2 bears at a time. So there's no need to ever make this bigger. It doesn't ever really need to get bigger than that, which makes it really unfortunate to have to move it, because it's in this spot where like it would be way cooler to utilize this whole area here as our lion's den, right adjacent to our wolf's den. You have lions and wolves. That's like the ideal thing. So we might have to move the bears and just redecorate it. But it's so cozy and nice. But the lion's den adjacent to the wolf's den just seems like such an awesome idea. And then where do you put your bears? Well, we won't need any of this stuff anymore. I mean, we could probably tuck them right at the entrance, to be honest. We delete all this. Well, then yeah, that's not going to work either. So if the lion's den goes all the way to here, gate there, boom. But if the bears are back here, then we still have our people walking all the way down there. Again, I mean, I could have one keeper hut down here, but what's the point in that? So yeah, maybe lion's den, and then we could put the bear's den here. That might work. And then we could start looking into some other things. I mean, yeah, the peafowls get moved. So what we could do is, yeah, have the lion's den here, peafowls here, because the peafowls actually like it cool. I have coolers. And then something that likes hot temperature here. So we have our cooler animals, our warmer ones, the savanna, and then that connects it all and makes a pretty good zoo. And if we decorate all that, make nice entranceways, we're looking good. From there, I don't know how much more we can do, because my game is, I mean, on play mode, it's running at like 30 FPS. Drop down to 26 there, 29, 30. So if we double this amount, it's going to be a slideshow. So I'm starting to get worried how big we can actually make zoos. It's a bit of a concern. We also need a food court. Somebody suggested an indoor... Sorry, I didn't do reading comments for this episode. I should have had that prepared. I was saying, someone was suggesting doing an indoor food court with animals that like swim and stuff. So like an aquarium. So like you could sit down and you see the glass and there's like half water level and there's animals swimming around in there. And someone else in the last episode was saying that like they wanted to see tapirs. So maybe we could do some like iguanas or tapirs in a water viewing area with the food court. And maybe that food court would fit nicely at the back of the park, because I don't know where else to put it. So I really want to do the lion's den. It's forcing the food to the backside. I think we could just keep this here, because the people do need like front entrance food. Or maybe what I can do is just like make a small little food court here, and the lion's den wraps around the backside, and maybe we can have a viewing area at that food court. So yeah, well, one little food court here. We're figuring this out. One back here with some sort of viewing, and see what we can jazz up there. And when it all comes together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a massive 6, 7 really good enclosures, and we'll try to theme them as best as possible. And we'll see where we're at from there. And maybe we can build in something here and then something there. And I think that gives us like one big complete part. The important part is getting that artistic polish up, and I think we got that going pretty good on the wolf's den. I think we can move from that. If we replicate what we have here with the bears but improve it +1, I think that'll be good. Peafowl area needs a huge rework. I think you could do some amazing Indian style stuff, so we would definitely want to play around with that for as long as possible. Tortoises still need a massive upgrade, so we got to build something there. So plenty more to do, and And it's exciting finally being able to like, yes, let's get into the building. I have $1.3 million. Let's go. So like I said, guys, just going to get those conservation points, get those lions going and save it. And I think it's going to be time to start ripping things down and doing a speed build. So I'll do the next speed build, I think will be me ripping down the savannah. No, tearing it all down. It's super scary to tear down the savannah because of the amount of animals. Like boxing these animals up and putting them back in takes forever. But we're getting there. I'm still having a ton of fun, and you know, I love the game. I love the game other than the bugs. So on release, I think I'm just gonna be completely enamored by this game. It's gonna be so much fun. But my zoo's looking okay, and I'm excited. I think the vision's coming together. I'm planning as I go, and I'm not afraid to rip things down. We did that with the Wolves Den, and I think it paid off. So we're gonna do that again with the Savannah and whatever else. So there you guys go. Leave your comments down in the comments below. What do you guys think? Now, if we do a bonus 2 enclosures here on top of the current plan, let me know in the comments what you would like to see those be, because I have a whole lot to work to do before we even get there. So your comments that you leave in this video today, you know, I'll take all that into consideration, because by the time you guys are writing them, I still probably won't be on these 2 expansions. And we will have conservation flow. Having said that, I'll give you guys one good look at all the animals. I mean, I think everything's available to us. So might as well just, yeah, I think everything's available. So just go to the Zoopedia. So I'll give you a quick look at all the different animals. We're going to want to get 1 cold weather and 1 warm. I mean, maybe we could do black bears. That might be cool. Black bears and brown bears on one side. I think any reptiles that we do should be at the back. We'll make like in that food court, indoor food court / aquarium style thing. We'll do something cool like that. We'll do our own atrium, I guess. Ooh, rhinos. Rhinos on the left next to the tigers, and then the peafowls at the top. That might be cool. Ooh, we haven't played with the monkeys, and the monkeys all have all that interactive climbing stuff. I really need to see some monkeys before the beta's over. I'm a little bit intimidated by the monkeys because they're crazy, they're chaotic. They seem like they're gonna carry diseases, but we've researched all our diseases, so that's not a problem anymore. And building the jungle gyms seems like it'll be like a week-long project. I was afraid that if I start monkeys, I'll freaking be stuck on that for like 5 days. So that's kind of why I've been putting it off. Snow leopard. We got to do that on the right side. All right, let me know if you guys want to see the snow leopard on the right side, next to our wolves and our bears. And we'll do the snakes maybe, or some of you guys have been asking for the monitors. Maybe we'll do crocodiles. Maybe what we'll have for this food court up here is like a 3 exhibit center with eating areas. That might be cool, and we'll build it indoor or something. That would be an epic project. I only have 7 days left. How much can I get done in 7 days? We will find out, but we have the money. If anything, yeah, God forbid any bugs happen where we lose all of our progress. Other than that, the plan is set, and I think it's a good one. Boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for me here today. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. Lots of stuff to go over on this episode, but yeah, it's been fun, and I think we got the money, the juices to really see this thing through now. So it's time to step onto high gear and get building and remodeling. I'm excited for tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster Planet Zoo videos. And if you'd like to support the show and like everything that I do here, please do consider becoming a patron. Links are down in the description below. Boom! Thank you guys so much again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.